everybody. Welcome to Kermit and Friends Sunday church services. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited right now. As you can see, it looks a little different. I changed my setup because a lot of people were complaining about a huge mess that I had in my closet. So, I changed around. So now I'm against the walls, much better, I think, and my lighting's better. So you will see every week there will be some improvements. A big improvement that I would like to do with this show, and my dream for this show, my absolute dream, is that every week, every Sunday, people are just so excited for it and they cannot wait to, learn and soak up, all we have to teach here, all the lessons that we've learned. I'm getting a call. Just give me 1 second. Kermit and Friends, Elisa, Jordana speaking.
Hey, Elisa, it's Barry.
Barry?
Yeah, Barry Boss.
Oh, it's Barry Boss. Barry, thanks for calling into the show. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's really nice to hear from you. Where are you calling from?
So I've been in a loony bin for the last year. And I was in prison before that. I was inside the feds, which is why nobody has heard from me. I've been a naughty, bad boy who needs a spanking big time from a hot chick.
Barry, why are you in a loony bin right now?
So I won't go into the matter, but depression.
Depression?
Put it that way.
So you're depressed. But Barry, you had a TV show, you had a porn that was doing so well. Why are you depressed?
Yeah. Because I was maliciously targeted by the feds, by the U.S. Attorney's Office in the U.S. Southern District of Florida. Is it okay if I curse, Elisa, or no?
Yeah, it's Elisa, but yeah, you can curse. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I always mispronounce it Elisa, but I know it's Elisa.
Okay.
Okay, so this fucking asshole U.S. attorney named Trinity Jordan ordered my arrest out of bullshit, and it's all because of bullshit. Basically, I ran an ungovernmental organization that I had registered with the United Nations in February of 2018, and in June 2018, they arrested me for impersonating a diplomat, which was a bunch of hogwash. And
why did they think you were impersonating a diplomat, Barry? Why would they think that?
I don't know, but that's the God's honest truth. But, there's a lot of individuals that run NGOs, and they all identify themselves as ambassadors at large that run NGOs, which means non-governmental organizations. And the U.S. government just targeted me out of nowhere. It's crazy. And, and the thing is that, here's the funny thing, right? I beat them at their own game. I made them drop my felony charges at the end. So now I'm getting ready to sue their motherfucking asses for wrongful imprisonment and get a shitload of money because I sustained massive brain injuries while I was inside the feds from getting the crap kicked out of me so many times by both officers as well as inmates.
So Barry, I hate to interrupt you.
Really bad.
You have a lot of fans here at Kermit and Friends, and we have some questions for you.
I know. It's the show that made me famous. I have over 150 million fucking views and plays on my shit online thanks to you, Elisa. All thanks to you. Yep.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks to you.
Well, so the question we have for you right now is, did Barry ever marry that porn star? I know there was a porn star that you were supposed to marry. Did that work out for you? Is she with you right now?
Oh, you mean Elisa Gadsden? That wasn't the porn. Well, Elisa Gadsden was the porn star. The other girl, Yarden, you mean? Yarden, the Israeli girl. No, I never married her. In fact, we broke up. And she's a crazy schizophrenic, and she's all fucked up in the head. And I'm with a new girl now who I did my porn videos with since I've been with her since 2017. And while I've been in the loony bin, she's been fucking some other asshole who's putting a roof over her head, But I don't give a shit because I know she already said the moment I get out of here, she's coming running right back to me. So, and she's cute as shit.
Well, it sounds like things are kind of going well for you. That sounds promising.
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate you, Barry.
I have a fashion line.
Well, I was just going to say, I want to congratulate you on all your success. You know, I'm on your side. I don't think you were impersonating a diplomat. I don't think that the Fed should dislike you. You're a very nice guy. Last I heard, you had a penile implant, and I hear people love that.
It's not a penile implant. It was just enlargement by an injection.
Okay. Well, I heard about that. I'm very happy for you.
Thicker, not longer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds like things are going well for you. I really appreciate you calling in.
Yeah.
And since this is a church service, you know, do you have any inspiring words for the audience? You know, do you believe in God, Barry?
Of course I do. In fact, you want to hear the funny thing? I got ordained as a rabbi while I was inside the Feds. And I'm planning on buying the domain Porn Star Rabbi.
It's actually not a bad idea.
And I haven't bought it yet, but I'm planning on buying it unless somebody buys it from Kermit and Friends first.
So it's for sale.
The moment I get up this call, but yeah, I'm buying Porn Star Rabbi because I'm a Porn Star Rabbi now. I have like 6 sex tapes out there. And they're all over the internet. All you have to do is Google Barry Mezzi XXX, and you'll come up with my video. Yep.
So Barry XXX. If I look that up right now, I can see everything.
Barry Mezzi, MEZEY XXX. BARRY space MEZEY XXX. You'll come up with my pornos all over the internet. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you calling in, Barry. I'd like
between that and my show have over 150 million plays online, and my media interviews too. If you go to Google Barry Mezzi SoundCloud, you'll come up with my SoundCloud channel. You'll see I have over 4 million replays of my media interviews. I've been in Brickle Magazine. I've been on podcasts for the Jiggy Jaguar Show. I've been on KJAG Radio. I've been on Gary and Dino's show. I've been everywhere. So the Al Cole Show. In fact, on the Al Cole Show, his podcast, which has over 200,000 listeners on iTunes Radio Network through ABC and CBS and Fox and all that stuff.
So, Barry, can you just say God bless?
You can hear me talk about my NGO.
Okay, Barry, just say this. Say God bless Kermit and Friends for giving me.
God bless Kermit and Friends as he bless Ephraim and Manasseh.
For giving me 150 million views on my porn.
For giving me 150 million views on my fucking porn with my eating girth fucking cock.
Perfect. Thank you for calling in, Barry. Wow, what a great success story. I just want to welcome Sugar. Sugar, are you impressed that Barry Boss had 150 million views on a porn, which I'm shocked that any porn would have that amount of views because of Kermit and Friends?
I thought we were going to talk about the devil today.
Well, we just got a call from him. No, we are. We're going to talk about the devil. We're going to talk to everybody. We're going to have a great show. I'm super excited. We have Brandon, my neighbor. We have our producer, Kevin. We're all here. We're going to have a great time. I just wanted to take that call from Barry. He was a former guest of our previous Kermit and Friends. And, he had a TV show. He had a porn. He was with porn stars. This guy, is he Satan? He's definitely not an angel. I don't think, do you think he's one of God's children? I mean, do we love him still?
Yes.
We do. Okay.
When we were talking last week about how we turn our lovers into priests and idols, when they become not what we decide that they should be, those priests and idols, we turn them into the devil.
Right. Okay. So this guy, Barry, I mean, how do we deal with him in church when he's talking about his big,
Well, pornography is a huge paradox because everybody loves it. Everybody thinks it should be.
Everybody loves it.
It's cool. There's nothing wrong with it, but nobody thinks anybody should do it. So, what is the answer? Is it okay to do porn? If it's okay to watch it, if it's okay to consume it, how can it not be okay to create it? How can you use a product and denigrate the people that are making that product? A porn star should be a person in your neighborhood. If you watch porn, you should be willing to marry a porn star and introduce her to your family. Otherwise, don't watch porn. Because you cannot decide that you want porn, but you're going to torture the people that make it.
If you don't watch porn, just don't watch it, man. If you want to watch porn, just go ahead and continue on, you know? It's all that simple, you know?
Kevin, you're our resident porn star expert. So, you know, how do you feel about porn? Do you feel like it's a sin?
I don't know. I've never watched porn in my life before. Never.
Wow, good for you, Kevin. I'm so proud of you.
I'm trying to be cool here, you know? I'm not one of those guys that are talking stupid shit, bro. I'm just quiet.
That's why you're the best producer of all time. I got some fan mail about you being a producer, and people were so thrilled with you in general, and they really love you here, Kevin. So I hope, you know, is there 1% of you that enjoys being on the show? Just 1%.
One person, I don't know. I think it's gonna be everyone plus you. Like you said, you know, I'm just gonna be light about it. I'm not really a picky person.
So you mind being on this show?
No, I like to be on a show. I like to be on whatever show it's possible. I never said no.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you don't mind. You'll be on it. You just have no like passion for it or excitement for it. Like, is there anything that you're excited about?
Anything anything like what? What do you mean? Like excited about? Like,
if something were happening, say something were happening tomorrow, and you were super excited about it. Just it could be anything. What would that thing be?
Getting a job? Like studying for my test? And I'm actually gonna be taking my test in CompTIA like next month.
Yeah? What kind of test is it? So
CompTIA is like it's like a test. So basically there's two tests. The 220-1001, which is the core one. Then you have the 220-1002, which is basically software and like and more like on like viruses and stuff. But you have to pass 2 of those tests in order to be certified for the CompTIA like certification. So like so I'm studying for the first part, but then I took it, I came very close, did not pass it, so then I'm studying it to take it again next month.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
once I passed it, then I'll be able to move on and take the 1002, which is the software one, which is a little bit easier than I think it would be most of the hardware because I'm more better than software installations than the first one. So yeah.
Well, Kevin, I just want to tell you, oh shoot. Okay, so Kevin, you're my producer, right? Are you able to give Lori Bolton the link to this? Because see, that's a problem that I'm having right now is that, so my focus during the show is talking to you and talking to my guests.
That's if Lori ever responds back to my text messages.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. So I need people to help me.
If she responds, then it's a different story.
Okay. Hopefully she'll respond. So I just want to tell you, Kevin is giving it to you. So I just want to see, now I got all thrown off. Oh, so I wrote a sermon. That's what I want to tell you. So I want to read this sermon to you that I wrote. I'm going to be writing a sermon every week, or if other people want to write a sermon, I'll feature their sermon. Okay. So like if Brandon wants to write a sermon, or Sugar wants to write a sermon, or you want to write a sermon, or Frank or Gio or Mike Cerullo or Elka or anybody. Jason, if he wants to write a sermon, I would be very happy to have him write a sermon, because this is something that I feel so great about. This morning, I couldn't get my internet to work and I was freaking out. And that's how I know I love doing this. I was freaking out. I was thinking, if I can't do Kermit and Friends, I can't live. Kevin. I was thinking that. So I wanted to read this sermon to you that I wrote.
Go ahead. I'm still here. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, this is my first sermon ever. Okay. So I can't make any guarantees on how it's going to be. But let me just read it to you, and then you tell me what you think, and then we'll get back to Sugar and Brandon and Tyler and Lori and everybody. Okay, so here we go. This is my sermon. So Kevin, in life, you will always be faced with challenges. But those challenges are actually opportunities in disguise. Okay? So for instance, when my company closed down, some people would look at that as a very bad negative thing, right? Oh, I can't work anymore. Me, I knew, first of all, I'm free. I could do whatever I want. And then two, I knew God, everything that happens to me is because of God. So if God wanted me to stay there, I would stay there. If God wanted my internet to work for Kermit and Friends, my internet would work for Kermit and Friends. Whatever God wants for me is exactly what's going to happen. So even though I had that challenge and I had something that was tough and that a lot of people would look at as a devastating thing, I knew it was actually an opportunity in disguise. Okay? So you have to lose your life. You have to lose everything. And actually, to find yourself, you can't have anything left. So for instance, if everything's going great and you're in a great relationship and you have the best girlfriend, Kevin, and a high-ranking job like Kevin's CEO of a company, you're not going to be searching for God. You're not going to be searching for answers or working on yourself or changing yourself, because life is all about change. What do you think of that, Kevin?
Basically, in simple terms, if you don't really if you don't really follow what life gives you, it's like you're basically in a standstill.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, if you don't follow whenever somebody gives you something,
right,
it's like you're not showing appreciation on what you get. It's like one of those videos where these famous YouTubers, actually, let me rephrase it. So there's a famous YouTuber called Mr. Beast. And what he does is he goes around to different neighborhoods. He gives large amount of cash to random strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one episode where he gave $1 million to this really poor man of his or his friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And he wants to spend it on his own house.
Right.
He spend it on his family's electronics, his needs. He's paying off for 2 cars and all this other stuff, renovations and all this other stuff. It's like.
Hey, what's up?
Kevin, hold on one second. Tyler, I just want to welcome you to the show, Tyler. I don't think I've ever seen you before.
I'm new, yeah.
You're new?
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin, we have a new person here.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler. So what inspired you to join Kermit and Friends?
I don't really know what this is, but I'm just on here.
You don't know what this is. Are you religious, Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay, so since you're a new person, I think we should all ask you a question so we can get to know you better.
Okay, wait a minute. So guess what Lori said to me right now? It says, I need her YouTube link, which means the YouTube link, not the StreamYard. So what should I say to her?
See, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how to do that. That's why I need you, or I need someone.
No. I was going to tell her, join the StreamYard. That way she can just talk. It's easier.
I know. Okay, so maybe you could figure that out, maybe with Frank or somebody else that wants to produce.
No. You can hit the copy the link button, and then you can just send it to that person, and then they can just watch it from YouTube. And if they want to come on, they can.
Tyler, how old are you?
30.
30? You have a very young voice.
Thank you.
Is that a girl's voice or a guy's voice? Because I know Tyler is a guy's voice.
That's rude.
I don't know. I'm confused. I can't tell.
I really like Tyler's disposition. He's very enthusiastic. Tyler, you seem so happy right now. A lot of people here are very depressed.
I'm happy today.
You're happy? Oh,
Live
good,
life
Kevin.
to the best. You should never be depressed. Either what anything goes to you, you should always be happy. And to take life to the
Actually,
next
I'm happy right now because I'm actually listening to music in the background while I'm doing this.
Music is a very good therapy. I have guitars and everything. Music is a great help.
And that's the reason why I have Spotify Premium and
yeah.
Apple Music, so that way I can download as much music as possible.
I just play my own music. I play it on my little McFiddle.
I really like this Tyler person. Okay, so I don't even really know where to go from here, except we had a guest a few weeks ago that claimed that someone from Kermit and Friends actually harmed them. Sugar, do you remember this story at all? Are you following this?
I do, and I want to make sure that she has a chance to say her side of the story.
So that's the problem here, is that she has refused to be a part of Kermit and Friends church services. The accuser is going to be a part of Kermit and Friends church services. So I don't know if we should just skip over this story and go to something else. I got some fan mail about this saying, let's see, James. Okay, so it says James stole the show. Some stuff he said I felt the need to comment on. A very annoying habit that Christians have is, let's see, I guess it's the end of the world. He mentioned it's the end of the world. So the viewer was very annoyed by that. And then said, there's way more Christians today than there were 600 years ago. Think about during medieval times where Europe and Asia, there was, pedophilia and rape. And American land was occupied by cannibalistic tribes. Africa was dominated by voodoo, satanic worship and Islam. Today is nowhere near as bad as that. And the world seems so horrible now because we see everything via the internet. So this person had a big problem with James saying that it was the end of the world. But they do agree when James was right about masturbation. It's a tough habit to kick. If you could limit yourself, it lifts your spirit. I really agree with that. And I think porn actually brings down your spirit. And I can tell Barry Boss is in
all right.
He's in
I'm gonna leave, but I'll be back soon, okay?
Okay, buddy.
Thank you.
No problem. My pleasure. So Barry Boss is in the insane asylum right now. And I think porn actually contributed to that.
It's a compulsive behavior. What other animal looks for inspiration to have sex? They either want to have sex or they don't. Human beings have this strange thing where we go around trying to stimulate it so we can have orgasms for no reason, and it becomes compulsive. And it also makes you numb and ruins your sexuality.
I am not arguing with that. Brandon, what do you think? Do you have any thoughts on Barry Boss, the porn star, and how he ended up in a mental asylum?
I don't think, I don't know. That was just really random.
Hello.
Oh, our Muslim producer's here. Lori, you're also a producer on the show with Kevin. You're working with Kevin. You became Muslim recently. You were hesitant to come on the show because you are Muslim. And, we are a church, but I don't even know what kind of church we are, so everybody's welcome. When did you become Muslim and what inspired that?
So I learned about Islam in 2018, and I had some doubts then. And I didn't really want to convert because of those doubts, and also because I was inspired by a friendship at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that friendship fell out, and I stopped looking into Islam. But last year around this time, I started looking into it again, and because I was doing it on my own instead of like inspired by somebody else, like I felt more dedicated to it, I guess. And in I think late February, I don't remember the exact date. My This year has been so stressful, my memory is garbage. But uh late February, I think I took my shahada, my testament of faith, and became Muslim.
Well, congratulations.
Um, I sent a friend of mine the link to. He's offended by the discussion of pornography, which I was
Oh,
not
really?
expecting that.
So does your friend's Muslim and they don't like
Yeah,
to even
I sent a
discuss it?
couple friends of who are Muslim that we're gonna try and be on.
And they are just not having it. So they can't even have a discussion about porn, let alone watching porn or starring
Well,
in a porn.
they can discuss it, but they were uncomfortable with it. He's like, "Why are you talking about porn?"
Yeah, no, I hear
And
you.
tricep Muslims don't pray 3 times a day. They pray 5 times a day. But like Late Writer says, Shias don't pray 3 times a day, but they have a hadith that allows them to combine prayers, so that they don't miss prayers. You know.
Wow, this is so fascinating. I love that Lori is a Muslim now. I just love it. And to have a Muslim producer is just perfect for this. Brandon, I just wanted to tell you, you got some very positive emails from the fans.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think I might have shown you this before, but I'll read it again just so everybody else can hear it. So a very famous artist, a friend of mine named William Quigley of quigleyart.com said, Brandon is the best person we could ever ask for. He's alert, he's responsive, he's enthusiastic. He seems like a great listener, could be a real asset to the show. That's from William Quigley from New York.
Thank you, William.
Yeah. So he'll be watching today, hopefully, and he'll be seeing you. So you have a fan there. And what I'm hoping is to even get, more fans and more people involved. See, even Ken just wrote that you're a nice fella. I agree. And I know you have very bad allergies today, yet you're still on the show. Some other comments we got was, Sugar had a question about Tim. There was a guy, Tim, that was on last week. And Sugar, I missed this. Sometimes I miss things. I'm hosting the show. I'm looking at a lot of things. I'm looking at a lot of comments and seeing where we should go next. So I actually missed that Tim knew Elon Musk. So she was asking about that. Born Mush said that he missed last week's episode, which is a big sin. And then Tall, Dark, and Handful said at the end, Eric said he wanted to quote the Bible, but he didn't. He just told Elisa he loves her. Then Elisa didn't respond. See, I'm not perfect, okay? I mean, I wasn't expecting that. It kind of threw me off guard. I love when guys profess, their adoration for me. That's like my favorite thing in the world, but sometimes I miss it. So Kenny T wrote that Tim is a gold mine. Don't lose that guy. We already lost him. He's not here. So that's something I've learned about hosting a show. You can't really rely, on people at all, whatsoever. So you just have to, that's why I have this big binder full of ideas and things to talk about. But on today's show, we were actually going to speak about a couple things. One thing was Satan. We were going to discuss Satan. Wait, Sugar, what were we going to do with Satan today?
What were we going to do? The entire concept of Satan. Do you believe there's such a thing as Satan? Who would be interested in torturing you? Who is the person that tortures you the most in life? I'll tell you who it is. It's you. if there is a Satan, it has to be something we create for ourselves, because only we know our greatest tortures. Who else is that interested?
So all the guys I've ever dated were just Satan?
What? No. The concept of Satan, the concept that there is somebody who wants to torture your soul for all eternity.
Yes!
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Who is that invested in you? There is only one person who is that invested in you, and that is yourself. So I think that Satan is something that is a concept that lives within our own minds, because only we know our greatest tortures. Like, imagine if it was perpetually 5 minutes before it was time to get off work. You just really wanted to go home. You're tired. You're hungry. But that 5 minutes just never passes.
I feel like that's every day, Monday through Friday.
Well, okay. So then what do we do with that information, Sugar? So what do? We know that we're being tortured by Satan, turns out. And so knowing that, then what?
Well, if you're doing it to yourself, then what would be the best solution to making it stop? Do you believe that there is something outside of you that punishes you for your sins?
Yes. I feel always punished.
All right. Who is doing that to you, and what is their motivation?
Well, I mean, if you read the scriptures, it seems like you learn lessons. So you're sinning, and then you learn lessons so you become better. And that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
But is it something outside of you? And I don't know the answer to this.
It's outside of you. Yeah.
I don't. I'm just asking the question. Is it something outside of you, or is it something within you that is punishing you for your sins?
I think within you. What do you think, Tyler?
It's outside of you for sure. For sure.
Then if it's outside of you, what's its motivation? Why is it so interested?
I really don't know. I have no idea. I didn't get to that part yet.
I'm having a bit of trouble with my.
Why don't you come on and do better, okay?
What was that, Sugar?
Dougie thinks I'm punishing everybody right now.
No, you're really not. No, these are good questions. I find these to be good questions. If it's coming,
I'm just trying to have a good show so everyone can have a good time.
Yeah, no, you're being very giving right now. That's something I appreciate about you, is that you're a giver. And that was actually part of my sermon. I want to read the last part of the sermon. Okay. It reminds me of you, actually.
Oh, thank you.
So this is last part. So reaping gifts is reserved for the planters. So I think you, Sugar, you're a planter. If you keep knocking, you'll find open doors for opportunity, doors to meet someone special. Like if you keep going on online dating on a million bad dates, or you approach people, eventually somebody will come, right? Doors for opportunity, doors to meet someone. We don't find open doors because we need them, but because we deserve them. What do you think about that?
Well, it comes down to semantics. The difference between need and deserve. Why do we need to think that we deserve something so we should have it? Like, what makes us think that we deserve something?
Because we're reaping, we're planting seeds, we're doing action. So all these actions, even if they don't seem to be benefiting you at all, they'll come back. So it's almost like a law. It's almost like a law. When you do something, when you have an action, there's a reaction, right? So when you put something out there, even us doing Kermit and Friends right now, I mean, even that, the effort I put into the lights that I bought and that were bought for me, thank you, Gaia Paya, are contributing to the show, meaning that maybe we'll get a couple new viewers and then they'll give back to the show by being on it and suggesting topics or,
you deserve rewards according to how much effort you put into getting the reward. We feel that we appreciate things that we earn.
Right.
That we deserve those things and that we can have them without guilt. Like the difference between dating a rich guy who made all his own money and dating a rich guy who inherited his money. Two very different experiences. They feel
absolutely.
very differently about themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a different experience. Okay, so we don't find open doors because we need them, but because we deserve them. So, us searching, reading books, YouTube videos, talking to people, coming to Kermit and Friends, if you keep asking, someone will give you an answer. So you take your seeds to the marketplace, not your need. So in order to receive, you must give. Giving starts the receiving process. So once we start giving, that's how we receive. If we do not give, there's no receiving. I'm curious if it's like that in the Muslim religion. Lori, in your Muslim faith, is there something similar going on there?
What was the question?
So in my sermon, by the way, what do you think of my sermon?
Sorry. I'm just wondering what your question was so I can add to what you're asking me.
Oh, okay. So giving starts the receiving process. So when we're giving, like for instance, I'm giving this like free show for everyone, right? So hopefully from that, I'll get some happiness, but you're not supposed to think of it that way. You're not supposed to think.
Yeah, charity. So I think of that as like charity, which the word in Islam, it's one of the 5 pillars, is zakat.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to give charity, and all your good deeds that you do in this life, you'll get rewards in the next life.
So what about this life? This life is just going to continue on this way?
I mean, God works in miraculous ways, and he does answer prayers, and you'll find blessings here and there.
Right. But I don't like this whole next life thing. I want this life to be good.
Well, you can make this life good and be a good person, and the next life it'll be even better.
Ugh. Brandon, do you care about the next life at all? I don't really care about it.
I mean, you have to live in the moment. And tomorrow's never promised.
Right. Also, is the next life promised? I don't think that life's promised either.
Who knows? And who knows what the next life is? Is it reincarnation? Is it going to heaven? Is it... Yeah.
I mean, it could be nothing.
More than likely.
Yeah, that does seem likely. So, okay. So forgiveness is such a huge part of Christianity. This is a mail that I got. Okay. So forgiveness is such a huge part of Christianity. I can tell you haven't forgiven your most recent boyfriend or whatever he was to you. I think if you went on your show, explained why it's so hard to forgive him or someone else in your life, and then officially declare you forgive that person, it would be a good experience for you. Having bad feelings for someone you once cared about is a huge burden. You have to try and let that go. Forgiving others also makes it much easier to forgive yourself, like the Kermit situation. One reason I think this would make for a great show is because then you can ask the guests if they've had trouble forgiving someone. So that's from a fan. Do you have that problem, Brandon?
No. I mean...
No? Wow.
I get angry, I get upset, and then I get over it.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have so many people that I haven't forgiven, like Benji for not marrying me, my last company, this girl Domina, the cashier at Rite Aid, My old band.
A cashier at Rite Aid.
Yeah. A lot of
Cashier
Uber drivers. Everybody's done something. Donald Trump, the guy that took my virginity, the last episode of Seinfeld. I don't forgive anyone. It's really hard. It's one of the hardest things.
Really?
Forgiveness? Yeah.
Well, you should be able to forgive and never forget.
But is that true forgiveness?
Why wouldn't it be?
Do you think if you remember something, sugar, and you're still upset, you have to be still upset if you are still remembering something bad that someone did to you? I would think, how do you let that go? It would be so difficult.
How do you let go of something that somebody did to you that still hurts you?
Yeah.
Well, are they still hurting you?
Well, I guess if they're still hurting you, that you would be complicit in that. So you probably make it stop if somebody is hurting you. But if something is still hurting you from the past, I don't know if y'all remembered when I talked about the thing about where you can think of a rose, think of an elephant, think of a rose. So
Right.
you can do a thing I've learned. If I keep going back to obsessive thoughts, every time I go to that thought, I teach my brain to think of something else more pleasant.
Yeah, anything that is still like affecting you negatively or is just like negatively distracting you from being happy and doing what you need to do in this life, like you should throw that away. Like God would want you to just get rid of that. Just move on. Stop worrying about it.
How? What method do you use to do that?
Maybe focus more on like your worship and your studies. Like if you're studying a religion, focus more on that. If that's what makes you happy, your worship, listening to like what I do when I'm stressed is I listen to Quran. It's very relaxing and peaceful. And I'm not very good with Arabic, so I watch it with like the English translation on the screen, and the words just touch me,
Lisa said kickboxing class.
Yeah, I mean, I love reading scriptures so much. They give me kickboxing too, but when I read a scripture and I really feel like I connect with it, it's the most amazing feeling. And so do you feel the same way, Lori, when you're reading is it a scripture? What are you reading there?
Quran, it's scripture. It's the literal word of God that was passed down through the angel Gabriel to the Prophet Muhammad.
And
it affirms the Bible, but it says that the Bible's been corrupted, and what most Christians believe that Jesus is the Son of God or he's part of God, that's wrong.
Okay. And you mentioned, is there something in your new religion did you have to make any lifestyle changes? Do you have to live differently than you lived before you became a Muslim?
Technically, like, I really should not be living in this house because it's not good for me, per my faith,
Really?
but, God is understanding and forgiving, and he gives everybody each their struggles as a test of their own faith, you know? You have to just keep the faith and don't give up.
So so you can't, where would you be living?
Technically I wouldn't be able to live with my mom either because I can't take a shower there. That's a long story. Don't want to get into it. I'd have to find my own place, but I can't afford that right now. But
do Muslims not?
Inshallah, I'll get there.
But are Muslims not allowed to take showers?
No, there's a ritual shower. The thing with my mom's house is the floor underneath the bathroom is really weak. So if I take a shower, the floor could cave in. That's unrelated to my religion.
But does your mom take a shower there?
Well, being as she's been in the hospital since March, no. I'm pretty sure a nurse gives her a sponge bath every day.
Oh.
And she can't stand on her own either, so she would have to sit down. They've been giving themselves like rag baths since like I don't know, the last 2 years.
Wow. So
But
no one lives in that house?
they live there, but I've decided to move out.
Wow. Wow,
There's all
Lauren.
sorts of things wrong with my dad's house and the whole situation here, but at least I can shower. That's the only positive here right now.
That is very positive. I think it's important showering. I'm so sorry to hear that the situation. It just seems like such a weird situation. Wait, so you're living with your dad now?
Yeah, I'm back at my dad's house.
How's he doing?
He's doing all right.
Wow. I can't believe that showering situation. It's so disturbing. So as far as this show goes, Lori, do you have any hope for it at all?
Well, I think you should get more interesting people. I think it'd be more interesting to have like different people discussing like different perspectives. Like you're trying to get a perspective from me, and I mean the Islamic perspective is very similar in most aspects to like Christian and Jewish perspective since they all come from Abraham, you know. Um but there are some things that are a little bit different. I'm trying
But
to
you're
get
happy with
people
it.
that are more knowledgeable than me because I really don't feel comfortable talking about
So
it
you're
because
a Muslim, but
they yell at me for like I get yelled at all the time because I say things wrong and I don't
I
mean
hate
to. I
that.
try to
So
explain things as good as I can, you
So,
know?
Lori, that happened to me too. That happened to me too. So, I just started this Christian church thing. I just started with them, and the girl that brought me into the church, she went away for a week. She came back. She called me, and she was asking me a bunch of weird questions. So she was saying, how's your relationship with God? I said it's good. She goes, but how is it really? I go, good. She says, how close are you with God? I said, close. I'm very close. She says, oh, well, do you feel like you love God? I said, enough with these questions. What are these questions? I don't think that I should have to defend my relationship with God to anyone. I was very disturbed by that. And then she hung up on me, and I texted her and she didn't even call me back. So I don't know if it's like that in the Muslim community, but the Christian community, it seems to be very judgmental.
Well, that's why I left Christianity. That's why I was agnostic for many years. Is
It's a
because
turnoff.
the Christians tend to be very hypocritical and judgmental and just uncomfortable. It's something that I grew up around, and it's not for me. And I never really believed that Jesus was like the Son of God or like part of God, like some weird Trinity thing. When Christians try to explain the Trinity, it's like they're trying to explain like a squared circle. Like it makes no sense, you know.
That's the part that I get. I'm not sure about that part. So I'm sure about a lot of the parts. I'm sure about the really nice scriptures and the not sinning. That makes a lot of sense to me. But then when they go into these stories and they say, do you believe this? And I go, I don't know. I just heard about this the first time in my entire life. Like they tell me a story and then they say, do you believe in this? With the blood in your veins? I think someone actually said that to me. And I go, I don't know. You just told me that 1 second ago.
I believe that God is one and there's no partners. He does not have a wife. He has no parents. He has no children. God has no need for that. He is an ever existing being that's been existing for like ever, you know? I'm really bad with words.
Well, I mean, you just started. I just started. Is there anyone here that didn't just start? Sugar, you've been doing this a while, right?
I think about it a lot. This is what it seems to come down to, whether you're religious or spiritual. How separated do you think God is from you? Do you think we are God and God is just a person? Because
no,
people say they don't believe in God. But everybody believes in God. They just believe in different ways. We all have to believe in God because we all exist and we don't know why. So that right there is a belief.
So I don't think that God is bound to our human concepts of like time, space, being, matter, location. sight. I don't think that we can actually get a grasp on like a true concept of what God is, and we never will until we're face to face with him. I think that it's very powerful, and I think it's more something that you feel in your heart rather than like actually like physically feel, you know. It's all about faith
Do
and
you think
trust.
do you think that God is outside of you and judges you and is separate from you,
I
or do
think
you?
I think that God is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. I think God is like in my heart, but he's also around me. And
Does he
there are
judge you?
angels everywhere.
Does he
There are
judge you?
angels watching everywhere.
Are you judged?
I think that God is merciful and he judges fairly.
So you are judged, but you're judged fairly.
Yes. So there's the you know the concept one shoulder and an angel on the other.
Mm-hmm.
That actually comes from Islam, because in Islam there's an angel on one side of you that counts all your bad deeds, and there's an angel on the other side that counts all your good deeds. Your good deeds weigh more than bad deeds. You don't have like a lot of good deeds and all you have is bad deeds, well your
Are
bad
these
deeds will
angels?
outweigh your good deeds.
Are the angels outside of you, or are they part of you? What's their motivation? What do they get out of this?
They well angels don't have free will like we do. They do what God tells them to do, and every living person has two angels assigned to them.
So how do the angels feel about that, not having free will and sort of being these slaves? Is that fun
Uh,
for the angels?
well, they weren't really created with the ability to protest against what God wants them to do.
That sounds kind of hellish for the angels. Why are
Well,
the angels being tortured?
they're not being tortured.
Well,
They
it
were
doesn't sound very.
that's the way they were created. God created them to do a job and have a purpose. Just like we were created to do a job and have a purpose. The only difference between us and the angels is we were created from clay rather than light,
But we
and
have free will. You said the angels
we
don't
have
have
free
free will.
will. Angels don't. Yeah, angels don't have free will.
They don't have free will, but they don't want free will.
No, they have no desire for free will. All they want to do is they were created with the desire and the only ability to do what God tells them to do.
And they exist in that state from the beginning of time until the end of time. And every person that exists has them on their shoulders for their lifetime. Where did they come from, and where did they go after we die?
They go back to heaven.
So they only exist for as long as we exist on their shoulders, and then they go back to heaven for all eternity. What do they do?
I'm really bad at explaining
Sorry,
these
Lori.
things because I don't
Lori's
have
a new
enough
Muslim, sugar. She's a
I
brand new Muslim.
I
She
don't
doesn't know
know
what
all
she's
this.
saying. It's okay,
I don't
Lori.
know.
It's okay.
I'm trying to explain it as I
I
can because
know.
I don't know everything.
No, I know. You're brand new. That's
And
how
I'm
I
being
feel when people ask me questions. When people ask me questions, I'm like, I don't know. I started this 2 days ago.
You can't know everything.
It's really hard to answer questions, and I don't like it when these people are judging me and they're saying, you know what she actually said to me? She said, you look at the Bible differently than I look at the Bible. She said that to me. We view the yeah, she said, we view the Bible very differently.
She should have shown her reasoning behind that.
Yeah, she didn't follow up with anything. She just said that. And I was thinking, I was impressed I was even having a fight about the Bible. If you would have told me,
what you meant.
yeah, if you would have told me a couple years ago that I'd be arguing about the Bible, I would have been like, yeah, right. No way. Any good dates this week, Brandon?
No, I've been sick.
You've been sick? Oh.
Yeah. Well, allergies.
Yeah. I was on a really bad date, like a horrible date. I don't know if I told you, the guy refused to walk me home. That's a bad sign, right?
From where?
Green door. Or
Oh,
little
wow.
door. Something with a door.
It's probably little door.
Yeah, little door. Yeah. So I was so excited because he was a neighbor. You know, he lives like 2 blocks from us. And I was so excited when he wanted to go out because I said, this is going to be perfect. Somebody in the neighborhood. You know, we could just go to all these restaurants around here. He has a dog. We go walk our dogs. It was just so perfect. I said, this has got to work out with this guy. So I go, and of course he's late, and I'm sitting there at the bar. I tried to order a drink at the bar. They're not serving drinks anymore. You can't even talk to the bartender. They just completely ignore you when you there because there's a glass. So they're pretending like they
COVID.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
A COVID glass, exactly. So the guy, you know, I'm trying to get a drink. So not only is it awkward to wait at a bar alone, but then you don't even have a drink.
Oh, that's horrible.
It was it was horrible. It was totally horrible. So I'm waiting for this guy. He's late. Finally, he comes there. And I'm like, okay, maybe I could, you know, make myself like this guy somehow. You know, you ever think that? Like you see someone, you're like, oh, they're in the vicinity of someone I would like.
All the time.
Yeah, I'm like, they're like nearby.
They do something shitty.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I could force myself if I worked really hard at this and put a ton of effort in and maybe like drug myself a little bit. I could like this guy.
Drugged myself a little bit.
So, you know, that's what I was thinking. So he sits down and he's asking me a lot of questions. And I'm thinking, man, I'm doing great on this date. I'm keeping the conversation going. And I'm just killing it. I'm so enthusiastic and I'm just so nice. And I was just so impressed by myself, like with myself. You ever be on a date and you're like, wow, I'm great.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So he lives 2 blocks from us, but he would be 2 blocks.
Yeah. So he lives like 5 blocks from us, but it was 2 blocks more that he would have to walk me home. Like it was like, so his place was in the middle, the restaurant was on the other side, and then we're on the other side, right?
Yeah.
So this guy, I do a great job on the date. I really dressed up. I know I look good for sure. And I was talking to him for 3 hours. I mean, I'm like a professional conversationalist. So he's got to be impressed. And then at the end, he would not walk me. It was freezing. It was 10:30 at night. It was dark. And you know how scary that street is.
So he had to walk home at night.
Well, I said, if you walk me home, I'll give you cookies and Chex Mix. Because you know how in our lobby, they have that. Yeah. So I said, if you walk me home, you'll get Chex Mix and you'll get a cookie. So he did. And it was so weird. And you know when you don't like someone, but you still want them to like you?
No.
Really?
I've never thought of like, oh, I don't like you. I want you to like me though.
Yeah, really? I mean, I guess that's definitely an ego thing. I mean, I want everyone to like me regardless. Like, I don't want him to not like me after I put on such a huge performance.
So has he reached out to you since?
That's the thing. No, he hasn't.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm just so curious. You know, every guy that this happens with, I get so curious. I just really want to know, like, at what point did you decide that you didn't like me because I was so great on that date?
Oh, I've never even thought of that. Like, what point did you decide to hate me?
Yeah, like at what point? Like, what did I exactly say that made you decide to not walk me home? And then he was telling me during the date that he was looking for marriage. He was looking for children. And I was thinking, man, I just never hear that. I never hear anyone say that. So I was just so shocked when he said it. I couldn't believe it. It was just like words that were a different language because just no one ever says that.
Especially here in LA.
Yeah. So when he didn't walk me home, you know what I said to him?
What?
I said, you know, I know why you're not married with like no kids because none of your dates survive. So maybe that's why you didn't call me. I don't know. Sugar, have you ever had a date where you didn't like the guy, but you still wanted them to like you? Is that complete ego? Yeah.
Absolutely. Every single time. The last thing you want is to be rejected by some guy that you don't even like.
Yeah. When I'm rejected by some loser, I'm very upset. But I know the Bible would frown upon that. The Bible would say, what do they say about ego? They must not like it. I don't think I got to that part, but I would think that the Bible, well, they say love your enemies. Would that guy be an enemy?
No, I think this falls under covetous. You're not supposed to be covetous.
What's covetous?
It's wanting things that don't belong to you.
Oh,
and I think that's where that's one of the sins, and I think one of the commandments.
I'm curious what's going on here. Wanting things that don't belong to you. Oh my gosh, is that tiny little mouse? Mouse? I can't tell what that is. It's either like a mouse or a penis. Sugar, do you recognize this person?
Well, I think I saw something about tiny little mouse, and he was being harassed by a rat. There was some talk on Twitter. I was confused. Is this the mouse that got sexually harassed?
Why are so many people getting sexually harassed here? All right, I'll just leave him up. I mean, it's pretty blurry. Hey, mouse, can you like clean your screen a little bit or your lens? I mean, I like mice on the show. I've always liked mice on this show. So I guess I'll just leave him there. He's a hamster, according to Lori. Lori, are you friends with this hamster? How'd you know it was a hamster?
That's a meme picture that I've seen like before. It's like a GIF. And it's just somebody holding their hamster up to their camera, and there's like a fan, like a ceiling fan in the background. It's like a meme. I can't see the name on the person because of your pinned comment that's on there, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if I knew them or not.
Did you book this hamster on the show?
I have no idea who it is.
Okay, so if any hamster or any human or any person, any animal, Muslims. So Lori, who are we open to on this show? We're open to anyone, right? Muslims, atheists, Jews, hamsters, porn stars, people that are in an argument with diplomats. Is there anybody I'm missing?
That's oddly specific.
Well, we had that earlier. That's why I mentioned it.
Okay. That's oddly specific.
Who would you want to see on this show, Lori?
I don't know. This is my first time like catching it because usually I'm at work.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's your first time catching it. So if you had an ideal guest, would you have any, I guess a Muslim? You'd want another Muslim probably.
Yeah.
Would you feel more comfortable?
A friend of mine was trying to get somebody else, but I think they're busy, and they've got an event going on in their Discord server right now. That they asked me to be part of. They told me not to come here to let the other guy do it, and they asked how many hours is it, and I'm like, it's right now.
So you're a very popular Muslim. They want you on a different show right now?
It's not a show. It's an event. They have somebody in the Discord server speaking, and it's a sectarian issue between the Muslims. Like there's two main sects, Sunni and Shia. And this person is discussing where the Shia hadith sources come from and whether or not they're valid.
First couple of minutes. What are we talking about here?
Kid, where's your parents?
Just call me a kid?
Yeah.
Freaking rude.